These two killings evoked mostly peaceful demonstrations in major cities across the United States, one of which occurred in Dallas, Texas, on Thursday evening. After an uneventful march, shots began to ring out. When the smoke and chaos cleared, 5 Dallas police officers lay dead. 7 other policemen and 2 civilians were also injured. Micah Xavier Johnson, an African-American Army veteran of 2 tours in Afghanistan, was cornered on the second floor of a nearby parking garage. According to Dallas Police Chief David Brown, himself an African-American, Johnson confessed during several hours of intense negotiations that he was upset about the recent police shootings and that he wanted to kill white people, especially white officers. When he refused to give up peacefully, Dallas police detonated a bomb placed by a robot near where Johnson was holed up. He did not survive. Law enforcement officers, politicians, and community leaders struggled to ascertain how to help their constituencies sort through and make sense of the volatile dynamics that are running amok. But one thing is certain: these will not be the last eruptions of violence in our nation. As a result, you can count on your children asking, "What are all these protests and marches about? Why can't people from different races get along? Why do people exclude me just because of the color of my skin?" Your answers to these questions will have a significant impact on your children and their children as well. Why do we still struggle with racism? As you reflect on the latest instance of racial profiling or violence, you may be asking the same questions I'm asking. How can this still be happening? Haven't we made more progress than this? Aren't we living in the shadow of the reality of America's first black president? The truth is, we have indeed made a lot of racial progress in recent years. Orlando Patterson, a Harvard sociologist, wrote at the turn of this century that the previous 50 years had been some of the most significant years in the history of mankind. He maintains that the changes in racial attitudes, the guaranteeing of legal and political rights, and the expansion of economic opportunity are historically unparalleled. However, we clearly have a lot of transforming work yet to do. And there are many hindrances and even forces that seem to be working against our best efforts. Before we begin to delve into practical ways to talk to kids about racism, I think it would be helpful to lay out the nature of some of the challenges we are facing so we can be better prepared to guide our children. Here are 2 reasons racism persists and continues to plague our land. All God's children have bias issues. Red and yellow, black and white, we all have biases in His sight. So do cops, preachers, bankers, masons, and 4th-grade teachers. You name them, and bias will claim them. The human default setting is to assume the best of our own kind and project the worst on others. Parental prejudices easily get passed down. Hurts and injustices of the past are bequeathed unresolved from one generation to the next. Pride and prejudice, anger and resentment, unforgiveness and violence are the encoded bytes of human nature. Whenever our hardware gets overheated by stress, loss, or fear, our operating system does an automatic reboot, and we return to the safety mode of our default settings. Bias for me and my kind carries the day again. We assume too much. The way we think, feel, and act is determined to a large degree by the assumptions we hold about the nature of reality. When those assumptions are properly aligned with the way things really are, they tend to serve us well. On the other hand, when there is a large gap between our presuppositions about life and reality itself, we set ourselves up for increased conflict and frustration. Here are 3 race-related assumptions that have not served us well. We assume a lot about a person simply based on their appearance. Whenever we see a person for the first time, our brain kicks into high gear, and we start filtering everything we see. We're thinking, Are they safe or are they not? Are they out to get me or here to help me?